So the big news which broke overnight was the announcement that Canelo Alvarez will take on Danny Jacobs in a middleweight unification bout on Cinco de Mayo weekend, May 4th to be precise. This is obviously a fantastic fight, one of the biggest fights in American boxing right now. Canelo obviously being Mexican, but fighting primarily in the United States, and Danny Jacobs being the biggest American name, I would say, in the middleweight division right now, and IBF champion currently. This will also be the second, I would say, mega fight that Danny Jacobs has been involved in. The first being can you really say the Golovkin fight was a mega fight? Probably not. That's probably a bit of an exaggeration, but it was certainly a very big fight for him, and it was a unification of sorts. At the time, Danny Jacobs was it a WBA regular champ when he took on Gennady Golovkin. This is a much bigger fight, and it's the fight that Danny Jacobs has always wanted his whole career, was against Canelo Alvarez. Now he has it. Let's see what he can do. It would have been relatively easy to make with both fighters being on Dazn. Danny Jacobs has just signed a deal with them, and I'll get to that in a second. So it was just a case of Eddie Hearn sitting down with Golden Boy and hashing out a deal. And as I said, when Golden Boy initially signed to Dazn are probably going to put pressure, if pressure is even needed, but they're probably going to put pressure on Matchroom and Golden Boy to work together and have their top fighters face each other. Reason being, they need high quality product to be able to sell their platform. They're not going to be able to, they're not going to allow a Cold War, for example, to develop between Golden Boy and Matchroom. They wouldn't allow a situation like that because they have to make this platform a success. There's strong competition from ESPN and Showtime. So they need to make sure that if they've got two rival promoters on their platform, the top fighters from each promotional outfit are actually fighting each other and giving fans something worth watching, giving fans something that's worth signing up to DAZN for. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now with this fight here. This is a tremendous fight. So all of those people who were preying on the downfall of DAZN, I don't know what kind of boxing fans you are. You're not real boxing fans. Those of you who were saying DAZN is trash and you'll never see any good fights on there, what are you saying now? Well, most of you who were running down DAZN and saying it's garbage and trash, you're going to be watching this fight on DAZN. How about that? It hasn't taken long to make such people look like the absolute fools they were from the very beginning. Now, as far as Danny Jacobs, and you have to give Canelo credit because he's taking on a top middleweight here. This is no cream puff. This is no easy fight. Danny Jacobs is a very, very tough and serious hombre, very talented. We saw all the trouble that he gave Triple G. He is much taller than Canelo. He's just as big, if not bigger than Canelo. He's got longer arms. He can move. He can box. He can go southpaw. Very talented fighter, Danny Jacobs. As far as the deal that Jacobs has signed, it's a free fight deal with DAZN, and I've noticed a lot of people who sign with Eddie Hearn and DAZN are doing these very short deals. That's the model he's gone for at the moment. I guess he's trying to build confidence in the fighters by saying, hey, let me sign you to some short contract. You've no obligation to stay for a long time. And over time, I would imagine the idea would be to sign fighters to longer contracts once he's established himself in the United States and once DAZN has established himself. Perhaps. But Jacobs is inked a free fight deal with DAZN and Eddie Hearn. And this is an extension to his pre-existing Eddie Hearn contract. He's obviously very happy. It says here, it's such an honor and a privilege to be part of DAZN and Matchroom Boxing. Thank you guys for believing in me. Displaying my skills on such a platform would do wonders for my career. I have an opportunity to make history. Plus, I have the best team to ensure the best possible opportunities for my career. Jacobs' manager, Keith Connolly, is also very happy with the job that Eddie Hearn has done for Danny Jacobs so far. He said, we are super excited to have re-signed with Matchroom Boxing. Eddie has done a fabulous job guiding Danny to a world title and now a mega fight. He has delivered on everything he said he would when we first met him. And if you have a look at Danny Jacobs' past few fights here, he's had 3 fights under Eddie Hearn's guidance. Luis Arias, who was 18-0, Selecki, who was 26-0, and Deryanchenko, who was 12-0. Each fight progressively tougher, all against undefeated fighters. I mean, these are great fights in terms of getting Danny Jacobs ready for a mega fight against Canelo. Great fights for sharpening his skills and testing him sufficiently. And of course, 2 of them were in his hometown, and 1 of them was for a vacant IBF belt. So in just 3 short fights, Eddie Hearn's got him all this. Excellent preparation, an IBF title, and a shot at Canelo, which is the biggest possible fight for Danny Jacobs in the whole of boxing. That is what you call doing a fantastic job for your client. Now, I do not work for Matchroom Boxing, contrary to popular internet rumor. I don't work for Matchroom Boxing, never had any contact with anybody from Matchroom Boxing, truth be told. Never taken a penny from any of them. But I just have to give credit where credit is due. For those people saying Eddie Hearn is a terrible promoter, mainly these Wilder fanboys saying Hearn is a terrible promoter, well, tell that to Danny Jacobs. Tell that to Keith Connolly, Danny Jacobs' manager. Tell them that Eddie Hearn's a terrible promoter and see what they say. Hasn't he done a fantastic job for Danny Jacobs? Yes, he has. I mean, you compare the job that Eddie Hearn has done in just 3 fights for Danny Jacobs to the job that Frank Warren has done for Billy Joe. Billy Joe has been with Frank Warren his entire career. Billy Joe was middleweight champion for 3 years. And in 3 years, Frank Warren didn't manage to get him the Golovkin fight or the Canelo fight. How about that? And this is no dig at Frank Warren. I'm just giving you a comparison between what Eddie Hearn has done for a middleweight champion and what Frank Warren has done for a middleweight champion. And of course, Eddie Hearn is not going to be able to do a similarly good job for every other fighter as he's done for Danny Jacobs, because there are different circumstances that each fighter has to deal with. Not every fighter is a draw. Different fighters are in, more difficult situations with regards to broadcasters and boxing politics, so on and so forth. But, there's no denying that he's done a fantastic job for Danny Jacobs. And really, again, the point I'm making is Eddie Hearn is a good promoter. Well, you can hate him all you want. You can't say the guy's not a good promoter. He is a good promoter. And Danny Jacobs is, I'm sure, testament to that. But back to the actual fight itself. Fantastic style matchup. Canelo Alvarez will almost certainly be the favorite in this fight. And look, Canelo, as good as he is, he has had favor from the officials on several occasions during his career. And you would imagine it's going to be the same this time around with Danny Jacobs. You can't see Danny Jacobs getting any favors from the judges. And the problem with that is, even if Danny Jacobs goes for a KO, he's unlikely to get it because Canelo has shown a very solid chin, particularly as he's moved up through the weights, and an underrated defense. He doesn't get caught clean that often, Canelo Alvarez. He's very good at just pulling his head this way or that way, rolling with the punches, riding the shots. He's very good at that. So it's going to be a very, very tough ask for Danny Jacobs. It's going to be a tough ask for anybody. But we'll see what the miracle man, as he calls himself, can actually do. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Canelo Alvarez versus Danny Jacobs, May 4th. As of yet, a venue hasn't been decided as far as I can see. Could it be MSG? Danny Jacobs would obviously like that because he's a native New Yorker. Maybe it'll be in Vegas. Maybe it'll be somewhere down south. Canelo Alvarez has fought in, Houston before and stuff like that. So we'll see where it's going to be. You would have to, because of the politics, as well as the fact Canelo's a fantastic fighter, you would have to favor Canelo, I would say quite strongly. to win the fight somehow, some way, by hook or by crook, legitimately or with the help of the officials. But we'll see what Danny Jacobs can do. He's going to need to really put that work in and beat the crap out of Canelo, really, in order to get a decision here. But then again, is there the possibility that Dazn, with all their power and influence, might actually want fair officiating for this fight? Like, really fair officiating. Because if they could set up a rivalry between Canelo and Jacobs, like a new rivalry, where, you know, Canelo loses a fight, comes back, wins the next one, you know, that kind of thing, that would really help the platform, wouldn't it? Is it going to be easy? Is it going to be easier to sell the platform if Canelo's just beating everybody on unanimous decisions? Or is it going to be easier to sell the platform if Canelo's going back and forth with a particular rival, an American rival, a guy who really has superstar potential in Danny Jacobs? Aren't DAZN going to want to do that? So who knows, maybe they will be fair officiating. And look, even if there's fair officiating, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Danny Jacobs will definitely win if the officials are all fair and square. No, Canelo's still a fantastic fighter. He can win the fight legit. But all I'm saying is, for Danny Jacobs to have any chance, there needs to be fair officiating. And in Canelo fights, that's not always the case. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about this fight. I'm very excited for it. DAZN have delivered. Golden Boy have delivered. Matchroom Boxing and Eddie Hearn have delivered. It's a win-win all round. So, let me know how you feel, people. It's Ham and I'm out.
Join me on Patreon. I upload a minimum of 2 podcasts every single week, covering a wide variety of controversial topics, as well as live stream Q&A sessions. Take a look on screen right now at some of the podcasts I've produced so far. For just $3 a month, the equivalent of about £2 a month, you get access to all my new podcasts and my entire back catalogue of past podcasts, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone or tablet by downloading the Patreon app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for free. The Patreon app also allows you to download each podcast in MP3. For less than the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to dozens of hours of exclusive content. It's easy to sign up, there's no contract, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of free and critical thinkers by signing up with me here on Patreon today.